Hello, welcome back. Today we are going to have a tutorial on how to draft a pattern of a 7-piece skirt. So here is a sketch of our 7-piece skirt. We have the front and the back piece. And these are the pieces, that is number 1, 2, and 3. Here we are going to have number 4 and number 5. Remember, with our back piece, we have the center back line, okay? And so this is not a one piece, these are two, number 6 and number 7. And here we are going to have a back seam. Another thing, that our skirt is going to have a very slim belt, okay? Here at our back, we are not going to have a button, okay? It is going only to be a zipper at the back. And the other fact is our skirt is long. It's going to be very long up to the ankle, and this is a pencil skirt design. As usual, here are the materials needed. Here we have our rubber, our pencil, tape measure. Here we have our curved ruler, and the other curved ruler is here. This one is long, as you can see here, okay? But also we have our straight ruler and the square ruler. Here we have our pattern for our skirt. I have linked the video on how to draft the skirt pattern in the description box below. So here are our patterns. Here we have our back and our front. I cannot show you very well when they are on the table, and that's why I've laid them down here on the floor. Now, for the purpose of our tutorial, I'm going to use this pattern. This is the pattern that we have made when we were making the skirt pattern. As you can see, this pattern is shorter compared to the one I've just shown you. And here we have the front pattern, this one here at the top, and the back pattern. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use this pattern, even though we are going to sew the real long skirt with the pattern I've just shown you, but I'm going to use this one for our tutorial. It is easier to handle than the long one. These are the traced patterns. Here we have the front and this is the back. So we are going to start with our back piece. This is our waist, and we are going to start here at the hem. So remember, we are drafting a pencil skirt. So here at the hem, we are going to measure 1 inch, okay? Then put a mark. Now from your hip, connect from this point here at the hem to the hip line. Now with the aid of your ruler, connect these 2 points with a straight line. Preferably use a ruler which can connect these 2 points all at once, okay? And after that, now do the same for the front piece pattern. So I've put these pieces side by side, front and back, and you can see there at the hem we have reduced some inches to make it a pencil skirt pattern. Now next we are going to draft a vent, and so now we are going to attach a piece of paper on the side of center back line, okay, just like this. I have decided to film from this angle. I hope you can see it better. This is how we have attached our paper. So now start by measuring from the center back line, that point here, 2 inches. Or you can even measure less than that according to what you want, and then put a mark. Then we are going to measure the length of our slit. Here I'm measuring 6 inches, and then put a mark at the center back line. After that, take your ruler and draw a straight line towards the paper that we have attached. Then draw a straight line, but first measure from the line you've just drawn 2 inches. Remember, we measured 2 inches at the bottom at the hem. Put the mark and then connect these 2 points just like this. Now we want to draw that slanted line that you've seen in the vents. Now to do that, measure 3 centimeters and put a mark. After that, take your ruler and connect from the center back line to this point, just like this. So here we are done with drafting the vent from that line up to the hem. Okay, so let me here clarify further. Okay, here we have measured 15 centimeters, but you can measure even more than that. But make sure that you are able to move and you are not going to be naked when you are moving. Okay, so here was 15, but you can measure up to 30 centimeters. Here it is 2 inches, but this vertical line you can measure 2 to 3 centimeters long. Okay, or 3/4 of an inch, or 1 1/4 of an inch. Now let us check the pattern that we are going to sew. It is very long, that's why I've placed it on the floor. This is the line where we are going to make our skirt a pencil design. It is not yet cut. Okay, and here is our slit. We have measured 2 inches here, okay? But now I want to talk about the length of this slit. If you remember from the short pattern that I've just shown you how to make a slit, the hem started from the knee, okay? But here our skirt is long. So we are not going to measure 15 from the hem. We need to measure it from the knee, and this is the position of the knee here, okay? So we are going to measure from this point here 15 centimeters going up. If we measure 15 inches from down here going up, it means this person will not be able to move. There will be not enough space to move the legs. So you need to measure from the knee 15 inches going up and then draw the rest of the vent as we did from the previous pattern. I hope you have understood what I was just trying to tell you. Okay? Now let us get back to our illustration pattern, the short pattern. So this is our vent and I've added seam allowance. Okay? But remember to leave 1 inch as an allowance from the side of the center back. Okay? Remember we need this allowance for us to be able to attach the zipper. Okay? Okay, so now let us cut our pattern. Remember this allowance is going to be extended up to the waist line. Okay? Now, next let us finish with the princess seam of the skirt, these lines here. You see they are starting from here. Okay, I've shown you it's from the hip. Okay, from this line here going down. So our princess seam is going to start somewhere here above the hip line, okay? But first on this waistline, remember our waistline is this one from above. We are going to find the center of this line so that these 2 dots, this one and this one, are going to be joined as one dot here at the center. So here is our center at 5 inches. With the aid of the square ruler, draw a line from the center all the way to the hip line. We want to have 1 dot here at this line at the center. This dot and the other one are 0.75 inches, and so we are going to have 1.5 inch of a dot. So mark the new legs of this center dot. So our dot is 6 inches long. Okay, put a mark and then take your ruler and draw the new dot legs as shown here. Okay, and now we are going to get rid of these 2 dots. Then extend the dot legs up to the hip line as shown here. Now measure from the start of your waist 2.5 inches going down. Okay, put a mark, and you are going to start from this point to draw your princess seam line. So first, let us extend this center line all the way up to the hem. So draw your line all the way up to the hem. So start by drawing your princess seam all the way up to this point here at the dot. So start to draw your princess seam curve and do this several times until when you get the perfect shape that you want. After that, get rid of the trial lines and then use your curved ruler to draw the perfect curve for the princess seam. Please make sure this line, the curved line, touches the outer leg. Okay, we will cut that line, but we are also going to cut this leg of the dart all the way and not this line. So make sure this line touches the outer leg of the leg. Okay, so here we have also our front piece. I've already drawn the princess line. Here is our hip line. Okay, remember to label because we are going to cut this skirt into pieces, so make sure they are all labeled. This is our front piece. So now first we are going to separate the pieces for the front as well as for the back. One thing that I've forgotten to show you, when you're cutting the curved line, make sure you put the lines like this so that when you are joining them, you know exactly how to join them. Now let us close the dart. We are going to cut this line here. Again, I forgot to mention for our front piece, this was the original dart. We will also get rid of this dart, okay? So we are going to use this dart here at the center. Now cut this dart leg and close the dart. So after that, let us take our skirt pieces back together. Join them with a sellotape, okay? So after joining, you can see that we have a space, okay? Here is a space that we've created by closing the dart. So we need to get rid of this space. Remember, this is a pencil skirt. So to get rid of this space, we need to attach the pattern paper at this opening. Okay, so attach the pattern paper. So from this point here and this point here of this dart, we are going to draw a line all the way to the hip line here. So draw the straight lines as shown. Look at the direction of the line, then take your scissor and cut one line. So here we are, we have already cut that line. Now you can see this gap here. We are going to close it just like this. So make sure to secure well with a sellotape or mask tape. And now after that, let us take care of this asymmetrical hem. Okay, so remember, this is the original length. When we are measuring from the front. We are not measuring from the side seam, the length of the skirt. We always measure from the front. So this here is the correct length. So we will extend it up to the side seam. So to correct this part, we need first to attach the pattern paper. Then extend the line of the hem as well as of the side seam and then cut the pattern. So here we are. Okay, so now take your ruler and draw a line on the other side of the dart leg, exactly as shown here, so that we are able to separate these skirt pieces. Here you will draw the line from the hip line to the hem line of the skirt. Now it is time to separate our skirt pieces. Cut up to the hem line. Then after that, remove the tapes to separate the pieces. So here is our front piece of the skirt. We have the side piece, okay, as well as the front piece. And this is for the back. Okay, here we have the zipper, the side piece, and down here we have the vent for our center back piece. So we've come to the end of our pattern tutorial. Thank you so very much for watching up to this point. Next, we are going to make a sample for this skirt in order to find out if there are any modification or correction that we need to make on our pattern. Okay, so please do not miss part 2 tutorial or part 2 video of this series.